Wominjinji, welcome to the traditional lands of the Gunai people. We're here today on the Gippsland Lakes. The Gippsland Lakes are the traditional lands of the Tatangalang people, whose tribal lands extended right across the Gippsland Lake system. So it's a very important place for Gunai people, and obviously the Gippsland Lakes, with its natural resources, sustain the Gunai people, particularly the Tatangalang people, for many thousands of years. So very important culturally, but also as a part of our natural environment as well. So once again, Wominjinji, and welcome to the traditional lands of the Tatangalang people on the Gippsland Lakes.
Our country is diverse and fertile. It includes the southern slopes of Victoria's alpine ranges and grassy plains that sit at their feet. Our lakes and coastal lagoons form the largest network of inland waterways in Australia and are host to internationally significant wetlands. Our spiritual connection is something that cannot be seen, but nevertheless exists strongly in the places we walk and in the paths of our ancestors. We're working to address the challenges facing Lake Wellington and its fringing wetlands, or improving water quality through managing nutrients and sediments from the McAllister, Latrobe and Thompson rivers.
What makes Heart Morass special? The place is a wonderland, and as one of my friends refers to it as the Kakadu of the South. And so it's a very unique place with unique species, but it looked like a desert. Would best describe the property when we took it over. Unfortunately suffered from 12 years of drought, heavily salt affected, fairly heavily grazed, and that's what we're trying to arrest in this project.
There's been lots of dynamic changes around the lakes that have been influenced by man. Of particular note is the change of hydrology. We have Melbourne water on the Thompson River no longer flowing into the Gippsland Lakes. We have the Glenmaggie Weir feeding the irrigation district but no longer flowing into our Gippsland Lakes. We have Victoria's Power needing the water from the Mundara dams and Blue Rock dams no longer flowing in here. Coupled with that, Victoria's largest fishing fleet at Gippsland Lakes keeps the channel open. So we're seeing a lot of change of salinity throughout these lakes. We're reversing some of the decisions that were put in place many years ago to drain wetlands. We're rebuilding the banks and disconnecting them from the broader lake system. This allows the wetlands to flood and to dry as they naturally once would have. That can help remove threats like carp.
We've worked now for basically 11 years at managing the water, but managing the stock, revegetation. I think last count we're well over 50,000 trees have been planted on the property. Weed control is another big one.
Individually, to try and tackle these problems would be incredibly difficult. The success comes through collaboration, by working collectively with government agencies, non-government agencies and the broader community, and to know where best to put our investment for these fringing wetlands as refugia for the future is how we can achieve this.
Call 4 is a program for dairy farmers, developed by dairy farmers. We work very closely with dairy farmers to identify where the risk is on farm of nutrients leaving that farm, and also implement programs that support revegetation of stream banks to prevent the erosion of stream banks and therefore the sediment impacting on the water quality. The Lake Wellington catchment contributes to the Gippsland Lakes as receiving waters, and the Gippsland Lakes are internationally significant. RAMs are listed for a number of natural values and also economically very important. Water quality for the lakes is paramount to ensuring the health of the lakes both now and into the future.
The healthy Heart Morass is a filter. All the morass systems are a filter to the lake system, and anything that can improve the water quality of the lake system has got to be a benefit. Floods bring birds, but the habitat is still got to be right, and they will select where they want to be because the habitat is right for them. And that's what we saw in 2007. The habitat was right, there was vegetation now growing on the bed of the morass, and then this fresh water come over it. Well, it was just a wonderland of birds.
It's the long-term climate change that we're really looking at here. With decreased rainfall, with increased temperature, the wetlands will be severely impacted. To understand, given these scenarios, we're modelling with Arthur Euler Institute on where the likelihood of fringing wetlands around the Gippsland Lakes will be, so that we can make sure we're investing in the right place for the future. Quite simply, the importance of this project is about looking for pockets of refugia, of fresh water for our wildlife species that are dependent on it. If we did nothing for these wetlands, given this climate change scenarios, we'll see lots of freshwater species extinct from the Gippsland Lakes. At the moment, the numbers are already in decline. We only have 8 known Australasian bitten sites around the entire Gippsland Lakes. The local growling grass frogs are only found in 2 locations. The golden bell frogs, we're down to our last few hundred. With works being done around the lakes, partly our success will be measured by how many more of these species will breed in these refugia sites that we are creating.